the Redbird Reboot Podcast. Are you ready to get rebooted, Cardinals fans? He settles down, at least in the zone, and does not stop running.
Blake Murphy.
This is the identity for the Arizona Cardinals.
The run defense is just horrendous, and it's been horrendous for the Cardinals for a long time.
And Marcos Labrada.
He's going to bring over his philosophy. It should make it better.
Present the hottest NFL podcast from the country's hottest state.
He should be turning around the logo.
Actually, some breaking news we can cover here. This popped up just about, 6 minutes ago.
It's Redbird Reboot.
Hey guys, how's it going? Not sure if you guys can hear me. I got a new setup going on. Everything was saying that it was just fine. Let me know if you guys can put any comments if you're on the YouTube side, or if you guys are doing through Twitter as well, or through Twitter and whatnot. Let me know if there's any issues. I don't want to be talking into this microphone and being like, "Hey, your microphone doesn't work, buddy," and then completely be like talking into just mute mode this entire time, making no sense. But anyhow, we're dealing with the ramifications of last Saturday's loss, unfortunately, due to the fact that we lost this game. It's not just it's not the fact that we lost this game, it's how we lost it. So in other words, it's just kind of embarrassing. Give me a second real quick. All right, hello, can you hear me? 10-4. All right, hello. All right, that pretty much solves that issue. Anyhow, the last play of the game was actually very controversial, to say the least. There's people taking both sides of the aisle on this play. You're either on a side of saying that's on Kyler Murray for throwing a fastball, or that's on Trey McBride for not turning around soon enough and whatnot. And as usual, we're not just gonna give our our takes or our little opinions. We're just gonna go ahead and show the film of what actually did happen, and why that play was so controversial to many Arizona Cardinals fans, because you're either going to be on the side of Kyler Murray, or you're going to be on the side of Trey McBride and whatnot. And personally, I would like to say that I think Kyler Murray threw that way too fast for it being a 5-yard completion and whatnot. And on top of that, he not only threw it really fast, but he also threw it high and away. So that's my issue with that play, but we're going to go through it as well. But another thing that I wanted to talk about and mention was that Colin Cowherd had himself a pretty hot take. And it is what it is. He has sources that he says. We don't know who those sources really are. It is rumored that those sources are actually Steve Keim and people that pretty much would be kind of trying to get their relevance up again. And I don't know how factual that is, and I don't know how much credence I could give to that, but that is what the rumors are, that Kyler Murray is on the, it's being considered to be a possibly being traded because of the QB market, mostly during the free agency and during the draft. So anyhow, I hope everybody's having a good night so far. Sorry that this is a very late stream. I just wanted to go ahead and strike while the iron's hot. Obviously, if there's not many people that can join, that's completely fine. You guys can go ahead and watch it afterwards anyway. So I have the offense out, as you can see, and I've been doing a little bit of been watching some of the game, but not too much of it, obviously. So I'm only 24 minutes in, but let's go ahead and just go and get to the very last play of the game, because I know that that's and this is going to be, my apologies, but this is going to be more of a shorter stream, obviously, because it's because of the fact that it's so late. I'm not going to be up for for very long. I'm in Texas right now, so it's right now as we speak, it's 10 o'clock. So let's go ahead and hit that last play. Okay, there it is. All right, so you got single back formation off to the side. Kyler Murray is in the shotgun. You have a 2-by-3 formation, 3 to the field side, 2 to the boundary. Um, it is true that this play has been ran 100 times, not through just practice, but this is something that they practice a lot during the games. I actually have a play that I recorded, and I'm not sure if it's gonna, like it's against the Atlanta Falcons. It was basically just a quick 5-yard out route that Kyler Murray throws, and where he wants to throw this ball, he wants to throw it where the wide receiver is heading to, not so much where he's at. And this is just shades of what happened against the Green Bay Packers. Against the Green Bay Packers, Kyler Murray drove us down the field. We got to probably the 7-yard line, 10-yard line. I can't even remember because that's a play that I don't think a lot of people want to remember. And as we remember, it was to AJ Green, and the whole preface of that was that he didn't turn around. He turned around the wrong way. So when he was actually trying to run, and in that play, I think he was trying to do the right thing. He had off coverage by Rasul Douglas. Rasul Douglas, being a longer, lengthier corner, was going up against AJ Green, who was a longer, not so much as athletic, but a big body receiver. And we've seen AJ Green, especially that year, just body cornerbacks and play the game of it's the basketball box out game. So in that play in general, I think he was reading the coverage and thought to himself, my best chances of being able to get this touchdown is if I, run up the field, use my frame, turn around and shield the cornerback from the ball. So he's going to throw it to the numbers. He's going to have his hands extended way out in front of him so that the receiver can't make a play on the ball. Kyler Murray thought he was running an out route. So when Kyler Murray released that ball and AJ Green turned inward and not outward for the ball, Rasul Douglas made a freakish play. He just caught the ball with almost no vision right behind AJ Green, and it was a fluke play. And that's what you could say about here as well. This is really you don't see this very often. This is an athletic play by an athletic quarterback in Ahkello Witherspoon. Of course, there you go. There's a doink. He sees it up in the air, dives for it. We all seen it about 1 billion times already on replay. He catches the ball hits the ground, but he maintains control, stays inbound somehow, inbound to the point where they even put him at the 1-yard line, and saw she wrote. And that closed up the game on first. I mean, it's first down here. They say first and 10. It's just first and goal. Not sure why they keep saying that. And so I think this is probably the best view you're going to get, other than the sideline view, about the timing. So in that Green Bay game, they also sent a blitz. It was a safety blitz coming down. It was picked up by the running back. So it's almost literally shades of what happened in this game. They, threatened they don't show blitz right off the bat, and they disguise it, which is something that I like offensive and defensive coordinators to do, because you don't want your offense to take account that there's more people on the line of scrimmage that are just gonna blitz and then try to get accounted for by having somebody like a tight end become an attached tight end, or having the running back know who's coming and chop him down and whatnot. So the running backs asked to be in protection here. And that game itself, it was Chase Edmonds who picked up the blitzing safety. The blitzing safety was chopped down, so he had to try to hop over, and in doing so, he just fell to the ground. But it was enough to get Kyler Murray to rush the throw, and he rushed the throw to AJ Green, and that's how it got intercepted. And when people say, well, he didn't turn around, how do we know what the play was supposed to be like? I would love to know, after that game was done, what the feelings of both the wide receiver and the quarterback are, because you almost universally, it was the wide receiver that took the blame and nothing about the quarterback. It was even to this day, you hear people say the same thing. You see, oh, AJ Green didn't turn around for it. I wrote an article back when I was writing for AZ Sports Underground, and I actually broke that play down, rewinded it, said like, hey, it's a freakish play. There was obvious miscommunications, but the blitz rushed the throw. That's exactly what happens here. The blitz is going to rush the throw here. He's calling for a motion, short motion. He's looking to his left. He already knows where he's going to throw this ball, but he sees the safety barreling down on him. But of course, you see it be picked up by the running back. The running back scans both sides of the field to see who's the imminent threat here. I believe the number 0, I believe he's running a stunt, so he's going to fake outside run through the inside, so he's going to have a clear lane, but the running back sees the blitzing safety, so he's going to pick him up instead. No, that's actually, I'm wrong. That's another DB. Gets picked up, but Kyler Murray senses that there's going to be a blitz coming. He just rushes the throw, which is another reason why he throws it so fast. Obviously, we show the film here because I want you guys to be the judge here. Because to me, he got picked up. There's really not much of a reason to get rid of it this quick. He takes his little one-step drop. He releases it right here, and as you can see, he's just getting off his break. He's turning around. He's not even looking at the ball yet. He's looking. This is his vision. Right when he turns to look for the ball, he has probably like 3 yards between him and the ball ball's coming towards his face. You have to raise your hands to be able to catch that. Your reaction, there's some instances in our lives where we probably were just messing around or something happened. We were playing football and the ball's coming straight to us without us even knowing. We either instinctively just put our hands up there just to shield us from the ball, catch the ball, or maybe it hits us in the face. It's just hard to tell what was going through his mind, but I know that it's high. It's high up there, so he has to. And you see him react like he's trying to catch it. He brings his hands up. His hands didn't come up fast enough to be able to, catch the ball up high up and away. And the preferable ball placement here is simple. Just throw it to where he's going to be at. If he's breaking to the outside, you have a lane to throw it where he's going to run to the space that he's trying to create because it's so tight. It's so tight in the end zone. Obviously, you have less yardage to work with. I think what happened here is that he turned in a way of thinking that if the ball was getting thrown to him, he wasn't turning so fast to it because he was expecting it and just kept looking for it. I was thinking, where the hell is it? Oh, there it is. And of course, doink. Unfortunate. Just unfortunate. I will say, though, during this game, there was some things that I did like to see from Kyler Murray. There was some out-of-pocket, out-of-structure type of plays that he completed. We know that he targeted Trey McBride on a deep pass. Let's go ahead and see what's going on here now that we randomly just ran into this play. And he really did shock me with his under center play. His play action game is just it's up there. Let's see. That's where I'm going to be critical of this. I think this is taking too long for him to be able to make not only the read, but to try to get it downfield. And this is always how it's you have different ways of being able to structure this. But once again, there is routes being deep targets on most play calls or play concepts out there. Yeah, there's times where he's going to call like Hank. There's times where he's going to call like a little short, like stick route, like for every receiver to be able to gain an easy 5 yards to try to get, the chains moving and whatnot. But there are routes installed that are deep. Now, I'm not sure if people are thinking about like Drew Petzing, they have to get creative with those deep routes. You can't get creative with those deep routes. What do you expect? Your offensive line is supposed to hold, right? They're supposed to hold for 2.5 seconds. That's the benchmark. And you're expecting them to hold longer than that on a consistent basis. That is not sustainable. That is putting up like a unreasonable expectations on an offense. So you can't get creative up in the high end. You're just gonna go route to go route. You're gonna run that as fast as you possibly can as a wide receiver. Depending on which way you release and how you release, that's where the nuances of the game come in. But as you can see, like there are targets down the field. And I think what people are thinking about is like, hey, he doesn't ask him to rip it. Kyler Murray he doesn't need permission to rip it down the field. He doesn't need that. You've seen him do it on broken plays. You've seen him do it on some play action passes where he just targets downfield. He doesn't need permission from Drew Petzing to be able to target his wide receivers downfield to try to get the deep ball going. Yeah, this is unfortunate, and I think this is now that I look at it for a second time, I think he was just waiting for him to get out of his break. He's running a go route, but he's trying to sell an out route to get the corner to hesitate. We know that Michael Wilson is not a burner. He has the same speed as Trey McBride does. They both ran the same 40. So he's shooting upfield, faking the out route to try to get the corner to hesitate, and taking upfield as well. So I think Kyler Murray was just waiting for him to get out of his break. He did win the route, but he unfortunately went out of bounds as soon as he comes out of that break and hits that go route. It wouldn't have mattered. Could there be more juice on that ball? I don't know, to be quite honest with you. Throwing on the run is a very hard thing to do. But he stepped out of bounds, unfortunately, and didn't matter. Even if it did hit his hands, but even if he were to catch that, it's coming back. Now, there's a play that I really liked from Kyler. It was a completion. There was a couple of really good completions to Marvin Harrison Jr. I love their connection here. It was 6 for 96 yards, I believe. But he kept his eyes downfield. He kept looking down to see where his guy is going to be at. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to fast forward this as fast as possible to get to any of those plays. Right there. I knew it was coming. Oh boy. Whoa, my God. That is a tiny window. That is a dime right there. Throwing it, once again, ball placement, 1 out of 10, I would say is a 7. But it is a tight window to fit it through, and he did that. Targeting him back shoulder-ish, and that's the reason why I gave it a 7 out of 10. It's still an excellent throw. Great velocity on that ball. Throwing it where his wide receiver obviously was able to catch it. DB still there. DB turns around. He might make a play on that ball. That's the reason why I said that. Because it's not 100% like a, comeback or like a back shoulder throw where only his receiver can catch it. He throws it pretty much straight to him right there. But he still completes the pass. And it's beautiful. And this is the great thing about like Marv. He kept his whole body in bounds. He contorted his body. He turned around. This is when I mentioned time and time again about how like Marvin Harrison Jr. is a special wide receiver, and the fact that people are even having second thoughts or talking about Malik Neighbors or Brian Thomas Jr. Like I mentioned so many times before, like we at least have like a offensive unit that you don't have to be super reliant on just that X. You're not going to be force feeding that X receiver to show the, to sell tickets out there, to show the community like, hey, look at this guy. This guy's exciting. This guy caught like 110 balls for like 1,000 yards or whatnot. Get excited, guys. Let's go sell tickets. I believe that's like probably one of 3 spectacular throws to Marvin Harrison Jr. There's another one where he moves the launch point. It's a really good throw. It's a really good find down the field. But this one right here is in structure. So he was decisive on this right off the rip. He knew where he was going. Trying to see what's going on over here. Maybe he's changing the play a little bit. You have like Michael Wilson doing a good job settling in the zone. That's a tight window to throw to, but that's also a possible completion. Of course, you have your little dump down here. You have Trey McBride running up the seam, kind of like settling in this zone, but still, this is a beautiful completion here. Love this. This is what we need to see more of. What I was ranting about when my stream was cut off was these things should be practiced. Like, at the very least, they need to get back to this like every single practice. At least throw 10 of these balls and just have Garrett Williams, who's coming on great as a coverage guy, have him be in coverage on Marvin Harrison Jr. Tell him to get sticky on him. Just practice throwing those back shoulder like balls that he was so good at, being able to deliver to DeAndre Hopkins. Not gonna lie, I kind of want to fast forward over to the other great throw by Kyler to Marvin Harrison Jr. That was just a broken play. This was I looked at this when I was watching the All-22 when it first broke down, and I was actually trying to read to see if there was a possibility if there was routes that were developing downfield and it was just going to be a dump off, but it was designed as a screen the whole way. I was able to tell that because the wide receivers downfield just get into blocking formations. Not really. They're just all running to the same area. They're running like an in route. Yeah, it's just pure disruption. I'm wondering who messed this up. Look, they're bumping over. You have your interior 3. You have one lined up over the B gap. The other one lined up kind of in a 1 technique, A gap. You got a 5 technique, I believe, out here. He just gets driven backwards. And once he gets driven backwards here, it was a rough day for like some of our offensive linemen. Once he gets driven backwards, throws up the timing of the play, and he completely loses that battle. Yeah, he's got nowhere to go after that. So I was actually pretty smart for him to get rid of it. There was no other choice, obviously. One of the things that Kyler Murray did suffer from was every time he was blitzed, and this is something that was detrimental to us on 3rd down. His 3rd down completion, especially when he was blitzed, was just it's what held us like back from being able to like get this offense into the end zone. Whenever they were in 3rd and 5, 3rd and 10, we knew the blitz was coming. As a matter of fact, just go ahead and just pull that up. I'd rather just pull that up through the film room NFL Pro app that obviously. Put that out. All right. And I was actually watching film from last year. See, I go and delve into like last year's games as well, just to get a little bit of a review of what's going on, mostly because of the fact that we're talking about, Drew Petzing for sure has been confirmed that he's coming back. It's coming from like sources within the building. And so you want to see the offense and why last year there was almost nothing being thrown towards Drew Petzing. As a matter of fact, when Drew Petzing was calling the plays for Josh Dobbs, nobody spoke about anything other than the fact that they were excited to see Kyler Murray in this offense. That's weird how everything just turns after a year. We're talking about how Drew Petzing is a failure of an offensive coordinator, but last year people were excited when Josh Dobbs was in, talking about they cannot wait for Kyler Murray to return and be in this offense, showing all 22 clips of like certain concepts and Jesus, how everything changes after a year. I'm not sure where people's heads are with Kyler Murray and his his value, but I don't think that I think it's just noise when it comes to like I understand Monty Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon. They both came in for the most part. They've gotten rid of like the old regime when it comes to like players, with the exception of a few players still, holdovers from the last regime. I understand that. That's why when Steve Keim was the general manager, I had, predicted that Hollywood Brown was going to get an extension. It was going to be regardless of whether he played well or not, because you traded a first round pick for Hollywood Brown. You don't want to be out a first round pick and make yourself look stupid when you did that. And then it comes that his production is like 400 yards a year and he's not even healthy. But once Steve Keim was fired, or not fired, once he was retired, that was it for Hollywood Brown. I told myself that there's no way he's getting an extension. Hollywood Brown is not going to be part of this regime going forward. If he doesn't show that he can have a connection, which is another thing that people aren't talking about, his connection with Kyler Murray in 2023 was almost non-existent. You don't believe me? Go watch the games last year. Go watch the All-22, or go watch even the broadcast feed. Kyler Murray could not get a completion to that guy. And it was strange to me last year how they just couldn't get on the same page. Easy out. Great completion here. It's just some of these plays are designed in a way where you are trying to get the first down if it's third and short, and you're trying to read the leverage of the corner, which is why Michael Wilson was shifting over from his trips formation to become the new number one on the boundary. He's turning by using momentum still, and he's baiting the corner, making him think he's running upfield when he's just running an out route. Look at all that separation right there. Easy. That's just easy. That's an easy read. Simple pitch and catch right there. Not much to it. You see those plays dime a dozen on 3rd and short. This one was unfortunately, no, actually, no. This was a completion here. I mean, this was a first down. He gets his guy, Greg Dortch. Quick, simple, just he is not going down. Actually, I might be wrong. This probably wasn't a first down. 4 yards. No, it wasn't a first down. It was just a bit short of the sticks. Now, once again, if you guys are interested in learning more about like quarterback play and like what goes through a quarterback's mind and what, you know, well, I brought this up before with Alex Rollins. He's made 3 videos of Kyler Murray before. One of the things that he has been critical on, and JT O'Sullivan has kind of the same critiques, is like sometimes Kyler Murray doesn't try to lead his guys into open spaces for first down. Now, he's protecting his guy by throwing it straight at him so that this guy doesn't level him, but that's not going to be enough to get the first down. So he doesn't have to completely lead him into the linebacker to take a hit, but you got to use a little bit of that leverage to be able to have him fall forward and get the first down here. See, he should have thrown it a little bit more on this direction right here. So Greg Dortch moves ever so slightly closer to the line to gain to fall forward and get the first down. I mean, he's not a big guy. You're not going to see him bulldoze like anybody. So that would be my only critique here of the throw. And of course, we got to look at the concept to see, you know, what was going on down the field. You have you have Marvin Harrison Jr. on the inside release. Really doesn't get much separation. Don't really need to. And I believe he's trying to do an inside side. So a post and an out route at the top of his drop. There's nothing there. Of course, this is the guy that when I was looking at the film on 3rd down, as soon as I saw Trey McBride open, I had to ask myself, was he going to be open regardless of the fact that he targeted Greg Dortch? Because once you target a certain wide receiver, you have DBs that just won't even care about their assignment. But this was interesting to me because the DB's playing obviously way off the line of scrimmage where he can, you know, you don't want all your defensive backs close and cluster to each other on a trips look. That's how you get, you know, that's how you get confusion, or that's how you get these rubs that happen. But I don't think this DB who's assigned to Trey McBride here, and it looks like it's man coverage on this end because they're all shading their guy. Yeah, that's a possible big play that could have been made down the field, but Kyler Murray threw behind the sticks. That was a route developing down the field. This was just a simple overload. This is something that by the way, this is a Los Angeles Rams staple. Anybody who's been a defensive coordinator, with the exception of Brandon Staley, which don't get me wrong, Brandon Staley as a defensive mind is still different from him being a coach. I wouldn't want him as a head coach, but he, like, to a certain extent. In 2020, his defense, when he was coaching the Rams as a defensive coordinator, they were the only ones that improved that year. Every other defense across all 31 other teams just Don't know what happened there. Can you guys hear me? There we go. Don't know what the heck happened there. My apologies. Hopefully you guys can hear me once again. Just trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Not even on my HD cam anymore, but let's just keep rolling here. Anyways, Brandon Staley, his defense was the only one that had improved. But I think Raheem Morris right after that, and he did this in the Super Bowl, mostly because of the fact that he had Aaron Donald as his defensive tackle. We don't have to go any further about what made him so special. I've talked about it so many times before. He always had natural leverage. He was always somebody that like was just a pure crazy 1% athlete as a defensive tackle, and somehow still weighed at like 288 pounds, being like, I believe he was like 6'1". They did the overload look. So they're overloading one side of the line of scrimmage. They usually place Aaron Donald in between the edge defender and the nose tackle, and then you have one singled out defender. In this instance, they want you to slide the protection over to where the overload is. You have just to me, this is okay. So you would expect for the Cardinals to slide the protection to the right. Yeah, the tackle taking the edge, the guard taking the defensive lineman, and then you have the center taking, obviously, the nose tackle. And you'd want the guard to take account for anybody who's looping around. You have the edge defender one-on-one on Kelvin Beachum. That's probably the reason why they did that, is because they wanted to get a one-on-one with Kelvin Beachum to the outside with their best defender. But you also have a running back that can serve as that extra pass protector. So you have 6 accounting for what looks like 4 on the line, possible, blitz coming from the linebacker. The Mike, he might be looking towards blitzing an FDA gap, but you're just going to see the right side of the line of scrimmage just cannot, don't know what happened, what miscommunications they had, but it was just horrendous how they handled this. And as you can see, he shaded more to the inside because this edge defender didn't want to get chipped by Michael Wilson. You see Michael Wilson kind of trying to help protect, give him that little chip. And they really did a good job of being able to essentially just keep him in the pocket. That's what you want to do with somebody like Kyler Murray. You don't want him escaping through the outside and he takes off and he gets like a 10-yard gain and whatnot. But I think there was just too much going on here for the Cardinals to account. Aside from the fact that you see the edge, I believe this is just another, I don't think he's not an inside linebacker. I believe he's just another defensive lineman. He's number 97, so there's no way he's a Mike or a Will. He takes this very interesting looking angle, running behind the edge defender. It's just they just got beat. It's just that simple. There's really not much Kyler Murray can do in that situation. But this is what I'm talking, this is what I mentioned about, and it's not just this game. It's throughout the entire season. It's like defenses now, they know that they can rush Kyler Murray with the blitz, and it's going to either cause him to, the protection doesn't handle it the correct way. They don't catch it. When you catch it, you want to talk to your center, make sure you're sliding the protection the right way, make sure you're calling out whoever the mic is, because once you identify who the mic is on a certain protection call, you'll know whether you're going to split. You're either going to do you're going to slide a half slide, which is 3 for 2, sliding outwards. You're going to fan out. You're going to do 5-0 protection, which is just man coverage for offensive linemen, basically, this person mano and whatnot. This is things that are just getting they're becoming an overload for the offensive line and the quarterback. And in these instances, back then, the way Kyler Murray handled these during the Cliff Kingsbury era is they just called a screen. It was just that simple. I know, people like that joke of Cliff Kingsbury. Well, this is where it was born from. Or they were able to talk, like him and his wide receiver had that chemistry where they knew they had to side adjust. I mean, wide receivers in this offense they're not really side adjusting to any of these blitz calls or these blitz packages that are being thrown towards our offense. They're not side adjusting with the quarterback. They're not coming back, making eye contact, making sure that like they're on the same page, so that if this defensive back who probably has a defender behind him who's going to replace him in the coverage, that's how you can tell who's blitzing and who isn't. You need a side adjust for that so that your quarterback can get rid of the ball quick and you can punish him for blitzing. So it's one of the few instances where I believe they didn't blitz. And this was a third down. This is a completion on third down. Another completion, but short of the sticks, unfortunately. These are the money downs. So your offense is going to succeed, and if they're going to succeed or fail on getting these money downs completed between the quarterback and the offensive coordinator, this is something that both of them have to work on to be able to like get more completions on third down, get that third down percentage higher so that more drives don't stall out. So you're not gaining all the yardage between the 20s and coming away with nothing. I'm not sure if this is the play that people are referencing. If you wait a little bit longer, Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably open, but in this type of design, I'm throwing it to the back pylon. I understand you're not getting the first down, but as usual, look at the looks they're trying to give Kyler Murray. They're threatening to blitz, try to get him spooked. Then they drop him. They do a simulated pressure, which means they bring a person from the defensive back. You have four. Like, this isn't a blitz. You have four pass rushers, but it looks like a blitz. So it's a simulated blitz. It's a creeper blitz. Technically not, but because you're dropping people into coverage. But I think this was the perfect play call to attack this no, it's actually a quarter safety. So this looks like it could be quarters coverage. You have your three middle defenders. You have your defensive backs kind of looking like they're, butts to the boundaries, looking like they're dropping into their, the quarters look. But if you're running up the seam, you're attacking you're splitting the defenders here. Nobody knows who's got who in this situation, this scenario. You have Marvin Harrison Jr. shooting up the field, and I would have hit the back pylon. Yes, I get it. He released the ball. But look at the leverage here. You have this defensive back just keeping his eyes downfield for anything that's coming his direction, because technically speaking, I know he's the defender that has to take the flat, which is Trey McBride, but he also has to make sure that whole shot that gets designed when he shoots it upfield, that's not a completion. So for this person to his side of the field, he's keeping an eye out for both of those. You have this, quarter safety, he's not even looking in the direction of the quarterback. He's keeping his eyes mostly on Marvin Harrison Jr., but he has his hips turned to the boundary. He's more parallel. He can attack that space to the back pylon. could be a touchdown if he knows his quarterback's going to throw it to him. But there goes another downfield route that doesn't get targeted, but gets talked about as if it's non-existent, because a lot of chatter about like, where was this? Where was this? Where was this game? Where was this emphasis? Why is it that like now they're breaking open this down the field play, deep passes and whatnot? They're there. Now you got empty here, 5 wide. Fortunately, this is one of the other instances. Now, one of the other things that I heard from Colin Cowherd was Kyler Murray doesn't like to be touched. He's a small quarterback. I mean, why would he want to get in contact? Why would he want to be touched, period? If he is as small as he is, he's going to try to preserve his body. Like, he gets all squeamish. Well, yeah, he's 5 foot. They say 5'10", maybe 5'9", and these guys are like, on average, these defensive linemen are like almost 300 pounds. I don't blame him. Why would he want to get touched? And this is another situation of another simulated blitz. Threatening to blitz. So I think maybe 97 is a linebacker. Maybe that way they're allowed to use those numbers as linebackers. And see, on this look itself, and I could even tell if I even look at the end zone angle, Kelvin Beachum got baited into thinking that this linebacker is coming in. So now he's having to worry between 2 defenders because he keeps his eye on him, backing up into his drop. Doesn't end up blitzing after all. Both, guard and tackle react to him. And he's not quick enough to be able to like get out and cut off this rush lane. About the only thing you could do at that point is just ride him and just push him out. But the fact that Kyler Murray's drop is so deep, and I mentioned this before, when it comes to like how deep you are in the pocket, like they create these crazy rush lanes for the edge defenders where they essentially just get a straight line to you. He has no choice but to like try to jump back into the pocket. Now he has no visibility here, and he gets into it. He tangles his feet with his guard, who pretty much gets owned here on this rush. And it's just, hey, who can touch him first? There you go. You get the sack. Once again, this is just 4 on a simulated pressure, baited by the mic. Another, these are, like I said, the money downs. He's getting rushed. They're either showing that they're going to blitz and they don't, and they hold back, or they just send everybody. And when they send everybody, this offensive line is just not good enough and being able to like just communicate with each other. See, like what I see here is, you have this DB, and as I mentioned before, when you have a safety behind a defensive back, that's a tell for somebody that's going to blitz. He's most likely going to blitz, which is exactly what he did. Takes an inside rushing lane, times it perfectly. You have one-on-one here, with the exception of the fact that you have pretty much DJ Dallas, and this is actually, I would say this is on him, because when he's looking to see who he has to chop up, or chop down, I mean, you have Barton not looking for the inside most threat. He's looking towards the outside on the edge defender. DJ Dallas is on the same side that he's at, trying to help the guard here. When this wide open gap comes in, this defensive back comes into this wide open gap that was created by the fact that he timed it perfectly right when the ball gets snapped. He puts himself in perfect position, exploits that wide open rush lane created, that B gap, and has a straight shot to the quarterback. And once again, it's just having a hard time. Like, Calvin Beachum's just having a hard time getting out there. He's not athletic enough to be able to cut off these rush lanes, these rush paths. I mean, he's just not quick enough. And unfortunately, once again, there was another lost situation where, like, they created pressure and had to force Kyler Murray to get rid of it. All right. Well, I want to take a look at the deep completion where Kyler Murray moved the pocket. It was a great throw. And I think I'm going to end it after that. Tonight, I just wanted to do a quick stream for you guys. Of course, we're getting ready for the holidays, for New Year's Eve tomorrow and New Year's Day. Hope everybody's safe. Hope everybody has a great, celebration if you're out there celebrating with your families, or if you're going out, please be careful. Make sure you guys, if you're going out to drink, make sure you have a designated driver or somebody that can give you a ride, or of course there's Lyft and Uber. Unfortunately, this was negated, but this is one of the plays that I was really excited after seeing this completion. Keeping his eyes downfield. That is a beautiful completion there. He kept his eyes downfield. He had, all day to throw. Basically, this is one of the few instances where his offensive line created enough time for him to be able to keep his eyes downfield. They're doing somewhat of not really an overload, but you have Calvin Beachum one-on-one with this. Wow, you're about to see this defensive lineman here just get pancaked. Did a great job in being able to hold their blocks. Unfortunately, number 74 is downfield way too far in, and it really didn't affect the play. So I don't understand why this is such a brutal type of, something that erased 34 yards off the board. I mean, off Trey McBride's yardage. Beautiful throw over the middle. Beautiful throw over the middle. Keeping his eyes downfield and making that completion only where he can catch it. Over the shoulder. Just great route. Kyler Murray keeping his eyes downfield. That was a great throw. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and continue to study the film as tomorrow comes around, and I might have a stream with my partner, Blake Murphy. We will announce when that stream is going to happen. We will have a review of our thoughts of what happened this game and further into the rumors. I don't believe Kyler Murray is on chopping block. The only type of thing that I can say is they're really going to be looking towards getting a veteran backup, which they should have already continuously try to have, because you need somebody that not only can light a fire under Kyler Murray. And I know those options out there aren't huge, they aren't big names, and the big names they're not leaving. But this situation where we have Clayton Tune as our backup, somebody that we're still like not sure how he's gonna, perform if he's called up to play a game. There's no incentive for Kyler Murray to have to like pretty much show out on a night by night basis, because he's probably thinking the same thing, like, who are you going to replace me with? So other than that, have a good night, guys, and be safe tomorrow. Have a great Happy New Year, and in advance, happy to anybody that celebrating tomorrow. Just please be careful. Please make sure you're responsible. Take an Uber, take a Lyft home, have a designated driver, and have a safe night. And I'll see you guys some other time.